Hi, I'm proud to be an addict. Sounds weird, doesn't it, to say? Like, how could you be proud of something like that? But what I mean by that is I'm proud to have been through what I've been through and not ended up dead. I'm proud that I managed to have the gift of desperation, that I wasn't scared to ask for help. I wasn't scared to go to a meeting. I'm proud that I wasn't so embarrassed by my addiction that I was able to just go, you know what? Not getting better is worse than being embarrassed. It's that same thing that we were talking about last week about shame. I had shame around being an addict, but the shame wasn't as great as my desire to get better. And that's an important thing. When you are newly sober, there is a lot of shame and there's a lot of embarrassment. You don't want people to know that you're an addict. But at this point in my life, I'm proud to be an addict. I'm proud to say I'm an addict. I'm proud of us all that struggle with addiction. I'm proud that we are getting through it on a day-to-day basis. I'm proud of you guys too. And it's not a pride in myself even, because I believe that I got sober through a higher power. I'm not embarrassed about being a drug addict and an alcoholic. Here's a little secret. You can use those addiction personality traits for good. It's like a superpower. I use those the way my mind works that also makes me an addict. I use it in my everyday life to hopefully bring you guys content and try to make a difference, try to do something good. And that takes a lot of being able to get through depression. Sometimes I don't feel like I want to make videos. Sometimes, I'm anxious about people's reaction. But those addictive tendencies, that obsessive thinking, the obsession, you can use that in your life to be successful. You can use that obsessive thinking to be successful. It really works. But you have to stop drinking and using first. Because at the moment, if you're in your addiction, you're using that obsessive thinking just to get high and drunk. What's the point? That's boring. It's pathetic. It's depressing. It's dark. It's horrible. Why not use that mindset, which can be so destructive, for good? Like a bit like a superpower. That sounds weird, doesn't it? But I'm joking about that bit. But you really can make success happen with what some people feel is a disability. That thing about the addictive mindset is only destructive. I don't believe that. If you can get into the 12 steps of recovery and find the higher power and work with a sponsor, those same things that dragged you down can push you forward. So I'm really excited for you guys who are in active addiction. You guys have no idea what you're capable of. That thing we were talking about in the other video, that addicts, historically 10% of the population are addicts because we are good at dealing with extreme situations. That means you can deal in life with situations that other people can't if you get sober. And that's an incredible skill set to have, and it's valuable because people need people like us. But unfortunately, a lot of addicts are just using it to kill themselves. And it's really heartbreaking. It's really sort of upsets me to think about that. But we do recover if we can channel our lives and our minds in the right way. So try meeting, get a sponsor, find a higher power. Well, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you that I did that and it worked. I'm never telling you what you have to do, by the way, in these videos. I just want to tell you what worked for me. That's what worked for me. So the reason I talked about that was because of a lot of comments I happened to get this week. Some weeks I'll just get a lot of very similar comments and I feel like it's a sign to talk about that subject. So a lot of people this week were saying, I'm an addict, I can't stop drinking and using, but I'm too embarrassed to go to a meeting because what if I see someone there who I know? I don't want people to know, my family doesn't know, I've been hiding it. So to address that, there's a few things I want to say. The difficult thing to say is that if most addicts, if you think you've been hiding it, you probably haven't been hiding it. I thought I was hiding it for years and everyone knew. You're probably not doing as good a job of hiding your addiction as you think. So that's the first wake-up call that I had. Everyone knew anyway, and I thought I was doing such a good job. The chances are you aren't hiding it and people have realised that you've got a problem. But moving on from that, what if you see someone at a meeting? That's what I was so scared of that. When I first started going to AA, I was like, what if I see someone who knows me? They're going to think I'm a drug addict or an alcoholic. And then I realised, wait, they would be at a meeting as well. So they are struggling too. So you would actually have a great bond there. And they would totally understand. There's no way anyone in the rooms of AA would judge you for being an alcoholic or an addict, because that's why they're there. We're all there just to get better. I just wanted to get those two things out of the way first. You're probably not hiding it. I wasn't. And if someone sees you at a meeting, they are at a meeting, which means you're brothers or sisters in this struggle. So that's a good thing in a way. Not in a way, it just is a good thing. The other thing is, if you really are struggling with embarrassment around this disease, it's a great time to go to an AA meeting. There's never been a time where you can be more anonymous. It's literally online. You can turn your camera off and you don't have to talk. It's way more anonymous than in-person meetings ever were. So if you're embarrassed, jump in now. Do it now. Do it now. Why not do it now? Do it now. You couldn't ask for a better time. You couldn't ask for a better time. Do it now. Might as well. No one's going to see you. No one's going to know your name. You don't have to talk. And you can see what happens. Go to a meeting, see if you identify. Another thing they say, very importantly, when you do go to the meeting, look for the similarities, not the differences. When I first went to AA, I looked at everyone and I was like, I'm not an addict because I don't have his story. I don't have his life. I don't have his problems with family. But what I didn't realize is that underneath it, what this big similarity was, that we were all addicts. And I wish I'd seen that right from the beginning, because it would have saved me another 2 years of humiliation and horribleness. So yeah, don't be embarrassed to be an alcoholic or an addict. We don't talk about people in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous because it's an anonymous program. I can say I go, but I can't say anyone else goes. That's what I was taught. And trust me, I've seen some incredibly successful people in meetings, people you wouldn't ever imagined were alcoholics. And they're using this power as a superpower. It's an incredible set of mindset things that make up an addictive mindset that you can use in the real world to have a happy life. And success in many different ways. I'm not just talking about financial, family, it can be anything. But these thought processes that are now, if you're in active addiction, they're killing you, can bring you a great life if you just try to get sober. And all you need to get sober is willingness to change. So once again, I love you guys. I'll speak to you next week. And I want to get back to the questions, because the questions are great. I read way more comments than you think I do, by the way. If you've left a comment, I've probably read it. It's the obsessive part of my brain again, see. I can't respond to everyone, but I do read them. And they're so helpful to me because they tell me what you guys want to hear about. So comment underneath this video if it's on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube. A really good one, though, is Twitter, because I can read them as I'm doing these videos. It's very handy. So on Twitter, I'm Stephen Hilton 23. I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye.